Howdy y'all, DW Verts here, Hickbilly Outdoors again. I want to do a little rant because it's what I feel about technology, the outdoors, technology in general. The world is just coming apart from the seams and people don't get it. So if you don't want to watch anything about stuff like that, boy George. I'll be back in just a minute. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all hanging with me some. This is the third time that I've shot this video. And the first time especially, I felt like I was whining and carrying on. And I guess probably I am. The second time I actually did it on the water while I was fishing. And I tried to watch it. I felt like it was getting in the way of a pretty good video. And I was whining. So I'm going to whine one more time. And the thing originally, technology. I'm looking at this high-dollar camera, a nice camera. I got my laptop over here that I'll edit these videos with. I'm probably not editing them enough. But I love fuel injection in my truck. Other than that, boy, I can get away with a lot of stuff without having to worry about computers. But it's what it is. It's a new world. I'm trying this YouTube stuff, so I got to give in something. You got to give in. You can't always be the only dinosaur left on the planet. But my rant is about this, and I ain't near the only one to say this. It's this new technology as far as depth finders and what it costs to do all this. To be a bass fisherman nowadays is a rich man's sport. So here's what happened. I got my butt handed to me. I got beat on my home field. Never happened before. I was at this lake I fish all the time, 115-acre reservoir I grew up on. It's been years. We used to have tournaments there, and I never, ever lost one. I don't remember 6 or 7. I'm undefeated. It's something to be proud of or whatever. I'm no cheater. I beat them out. I whooped them bad sometimes. I won by an ounce once. Old school bass fishing, using your brain, your heart, your feelings, and making them bite. So I'm there a couple weeks ago, and it's 115 acres, and probably 35 of it's lily pads, and that's where the bass are. And the crappie and the big brim, that's where they're at. It can be tough figuring out the right, especially when they want to bite in the middle of summer, to figure out which pads, where, what bait, what presentation. It's kind of every day it changes, and every day you kind of got to start over. I've got little areas that consistently have more fish. Everybody else has found those too. The pressure is unbelievable on this little lake. So I'm a fishing. It's been 3.5 hours in the water that morning. I had one, maybe 3-pound bass, and I think one dink. It's just part of the process. Some days is better than others. It's what you accept, what you learn to live with, or what you try to overcome when you're fishing. I don't care, bass, crappie, catfish, whatever, you got to overcome. Well, a brand new bass boat, this electric motor only lake, a brand new bass boat, a newer boat, put it across the lake at the ramp. I watched him as he motivated across to my side of the lake. It's a mile-long lake, quarter-mile wide. It's not hard to see what's going on. And I'm pretty sure he's a bass fisherman. He knows it. He's 150, 175 yards away. He's not encroaching on me in any way. He ended up being a great guy too. Let's get that up front. He's a nice guy. Never met him before. He knew me. I'm not sure if I'm liking that as much. I didn't pay much attention to him. I'm trying to figure the bass out. But as he started working towards me, you can't help but glance up, and I saw him nose into some pads and then back out with the trolling motor and turn and did it again. It dawned on me what he's up to. He ain't fishing. He's a-looking. God bless America. God bless bass fishing. God bless frickin' Garmin, which I love my Garmin depth finders. He's live scoping those bass, and I've seen it some before, and I've seen it in the 2 weeks since where a bunch. So he he does all this. He does it several times, and I see him pick up a rod, and he's commenced to fishing. And I'm watching. Now he's 75, 80 yards away. I watch him do this up front. He goes in. He throws a bait up in some pads, and then he stops. He backs back out. And he turns the boat. And he's looking down the whole time. He's looking down at that screen. That big 12-inch screen. That ain't cheap. And then he goes back in. He makes a couple pitches in there, and he catches a 4-pounder. Good for him. I still this is 4.5 hours. I've watched him for almost now. I've just got those two. And boy, I hate to say I got mad. I got tight. That makes sense. I got a little bit tight. I'll watch him do it, seriously, 3 more times on 4-pound or so bass in the next 20 minutes. He got in that pocket of fish I was on the edge of her trying to find. And the last one, I was talking to him just a little bit. How you doing? How's it going? Well, they're tough. Yeah, it's tough. In the amount of time I watched him come to me, I must have made, golly, guys, I'm pitching and flipping real close. I'm not making long casts. You know, hundreds of presentations. I watched him make, if he made 60 in the time I watched him 75, I'd be surprised. So he catches that last one. It's a decent, probably 4.5-pounder. It took him a few tries. I said, you liking that Garmin? He goes, man, he goes, I don't know what I'd do without it. I said, probably what I'm doing, not catching much. Boy, he kind of put his head down. He kind of pretty much apologized. No, I get it. He said he'd retired. He's probably younger than me by a fair bit. Say he just retired. I don't know what from. He got that new boat this spring with all these new depth finders, all this new technology. $22,000. 3 of those 12-inch units, a 10-inch and something else. And then he said the one thing he bought he didn't like was a hydro wave because it calls fish. He said it didn't work very well. Hydro wave. So anyway, nice guy. I said, well, tell me. I said, is this bad when you can't catch them, when they won't bite? Oh, he said it's hard. But he said, I just go look for more. The first place he stopped, he said he had a couple bass. He thinks there's nothing else in there. There's catfish. He thinks they're 7, 8-pound bass, 2 of them together. Said he couldn't make them bite. He just goes to the next fish. Time of day was over. I had a 4.5-pounder, a 3.5-pounder, a 3-pounder, and maybe 3 or 4 short little dings. 10 inches. I fished 7.5 hours. I sweated. I hurt. I couldn't hardly walk when I'm done. My shoulders hurt. And I don't know how many presentations I made. He did not make that many presentations. Nice guy. Brand new 21-foot boat with a 250 Merc on it and all the bells and whistles. And he's been bass fishing for 10 years. And he's catching more than I am. And how am I supposed to feel about that? For one thing, if I wanted to go buy the boat and $20,000 of depth finders, I guess I could or would. My banker says go for it. He's foolish. I just don't know. I have on my bass boats over the years some of the latest, greatest stuff. I had a paper graph back in the day, which still is as detailed a graph as you'll ever find. The sonar stuff is not new. The aliens gave it to us in Area 51 in 1946. You gotta laugh at it. Anyway, since then, I've been on 2 other lakes. A little 80-acre lake over here the other day, and I watched that guy, crappie. These are mostly crappie fishermen. I watched him over lake, standing timber, until he finally found that tree he liked. I didn't stick around to see if he caught any fish. I watched him motivate that trolling motor. They're going to wear their trolling motors out faster, I think. Then down trimming last week, we at least 3 or 4 boats and trimming reservoir, and they're catching crappie. These are crappie guys. They're using like a 12 or 14-foot old brim pole. Is what they're doing now. Just a pole. If they got them little reels on them or what, I don't know. And they're all 2 people up front in all but one of the boats, and they're just looking. They're like this. They're going to get panoptic's neck, Garmin syndrome. We're going to come up with some name. They're going to get a hunchback crick in their neck. They're just looking down. When they get close enough to where the fish are, they're taking that long pole and just dropping the baits down, whatever depth. I imagine I got them little bitty reels on them. I really didn't pay much attention. I heard a rumor, it's one of those internet deals or whatever, is people talking that those fish are starting to spook off of people doing that. I don't believe that. I've got right over the top of them crappie before and bass and banged on stuff, made them hit the tree and they bite better. So the haters, which I'm not a hater, are going on about it. I think I could be a hater though. I tell you something else, spoonbill fish. We got paddlefish here in Missouri. The big old spoonbill, neat old prehistoric fish. I don't like the way they eat. And you snag them. And I'm talking old days. You go down the lake in a boat with a bunch of barrel-chested, big-gutted drunks. It's a tradition. And they're snagging them fish with snagging poles. Big old weights and big old treble hooks. And they're snagging, just hoping. I showed them guys in 1985 when the first LCD, LCR, whatever graphs come out, that you could get over those fish, you could find the fish and snag them vertically. I showed them guys that, so that's what I do. But now with the Panoptics, the forward-looking, whatever, Humminbird 3, well, they all got their names. I like Garmin. I've watched that since, I was fascinated when this first came out, by the way. Not so much anymore. The guides here on Lake of the Ozarks are guide and spoonbillers, 100% catch ratio. They're even using some bass tackle like flipping sticks, I guess, with treble hooks. And they're fighting the fish and making short tosses of those poor spoonbill. They're just wanting to go up the river and have a little fun, make baby spoonbill, or try. And they're snagging them, and they're 100%, they're catching them every time. Don't think it'll be long for somebody conservation department or one of our law enforcement agents, hey, whoa, what's this unfair advantage? I don't know. Is it unfair? I love that side imaging. I can watch that like watching a good TV show. I mean, it's cool watching that stuff and seeing things I never saw before. I found stuff with this modern that I never knew. I found some foundations on Lake of the Ozarks a couple years ago. Where do you draw the line, I guess is my point. I love my fuel injection in my truck, on my side-by-side. Can't wait for them to put fuel injection on a chainsaw and screw that up. I hate telephones. I hate when a telephone rings. Nobody ever calls me and says, hey, Dale, we're going to give you something. No, I always want something. I guess that's it. I don't know why she put this video out. I'm nobody. I mean nothing. My opinions mean nothing to anybody. There's going to be guys that don't like this. My point being, if you like it, it's legal. If you can afford it, I don't think you can buy a new bass boat for. I wouldn't need a 250 and 21 footer. A 20-foot bass boat with a 200, which would be stupid for resale. I don't need to go 80 mile an hour. I want a big, comfortable boat. They're just crazy what they cost, and $20,000 plus definitely $22,000. I tried to do the math on that. I'm thinking maybe he had like a 16, one of them big offshore 16s that's $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever. Anyway, he's a nice guy. God bless him. I just don't feel like I could fish tournaments against guys like that. About 6 7 months out of the year, they're going to have a distinct advantage over you. The other 3 or 4 or 5 months, maybe the old school smart old guy may have something on them. I don't know. You know what's coming to you. It's an elite sport. You got to have a lot of money. You always had to have a lot of money. It's like trap shooting. I used to shoot trap, except I could win trap shooting pure skill or pure luck. I won a lot of trap shoots with a cheaper gun. Man, and people had money. RVs and millionaires shoot trap and ski. I was never one of those. But I could beat them because once you said pull, it was the same for everybody. You don't say pull bass fishing. Finding them's the trick. Finding a fish, period, is the #1 trick to catching a fish. You got to find them. I'm spending all that time casting. I'm hurting myself. I'm getting too old for this crap. There you go. There's the beef. And they're finding them without doing a damn thing except looking down at that frickin' screen, that radar. I just figured it out. Dr. Phil ain't necessary. I'm going to call him off. Guys, that's my rant. I go on about the stupid stuff. I've been thinking about it. I killed those first 2 videos. I'm gonna publish this one, maybe. Thanks for watching, y'all. Go to ultimatebass.com. the discussion forums and see who gets on me about this. It'll all be fair and love and war, and luckily we're not at war. At least us buddies on ultimatebass.com. Randy Blockett, Intuitive Angling. I keep mentioning Randy on YouTube. He's done this video. He's ahead of me like 2-3 weeks on everything. I'm not copying off Randy. This is what's happened to me. It's what I feel like. Watch Randy's stuff. Randy's pretty smart. Randy's old school, and he don't like it either. Seems to be the older guys don't like it. The younger guys like, well, you don't like getting your butts whooped by us. Yeah, you bet you your butt I don't like getting mine waxed on my own lake, on my own grounds. It's hard to take. Have to get up them chartreuse grenades again. They always work. Well, you got to find the fish first. Anyway, guys, thank y'all. God bless. Talk at you later.